Hi, I'm Mahesh Kamath. This episode is about freedom fighters from the northeast of India who fought the British during the British rule. I've been to the northeast and I have wonderful friends over there. Wonderful people, I love them all. This episode is dedicated to some of the brave warriors of Indian independence. Please watch. The Anglo-Manipur War was an armed conflict between the British Empire and the Kingdom of Manipur. The war lasted between 31st March and 27th April 1891. It ended in a British victory. First, I will tell you about Paunarajapashi. One of the most revered figures of the Anglo-Manipuri War in 1891 was Major Paunarajapashi, a soldier of the Kanglepa Kingdom of Manipur under Maharaja Kulchandra. Battling the British with few supporting men, plus underarmed in the Battle of Kongjom, Pauna valiantly led his soldiers in one of the fiercest battles in Indian history on 23rd April 1891. Engaged in a bloody clash, the Manipuri soldiers, including Pauna, fought until the last man. Before he was killed, however, he was given a choice. A British army officer asked Paunarajapashi to switch sides and join the British army. The British said if he joined them, he would be given a high plum post. However, Pauna refused. He said death is better than treason. He took off the cloth, wrapped it on his headgear, and asked the British officer to behead him. That was the bravery of Paunarajapashi. Jodhanang. Jodhanang was a Rongmei Naga leader from Manipur. He was a spiritual leader, social reformist, and a political leader who sought to emancipate the Naga people from the clutches of British colonial rule during the early decades of the 20th century. Jodhanang was seen as a spiritual figure early in life, gathering the attention of neighboring villages, especially folks from the Zeliangrong tribe community, an important indigenous Naga community living in the tri-junction of Assam, Manipur and Nagaland, under which the Rongmei Nagas fell. Aside from the Heraka movement, he started building an army which he called the Ripen, comprising about 500 men and women. At its zenith, the army was well versed in military tactics, weaponry and reconnaissance missions. It was also organized in civilian matters, assisting in farming, livestock grazing and firewood collection, among other activities. Jodhanang composed songs also singing praise of the struggle of the people against the British, and his disciple Rani Gaidinliu imparted this to his followers. His struggle against the British went on. The British caught up with him eventually. On 13 June 1931, Jodhanang was declared guilty of murders at a trial by the British authorities. He was hanged to death on 29th August 1931. Veer Tikendrajit Singh. Veer Tikendrajit Singh, the Crown Prince of Manipur, who laid down his life along with his general Thangal for protecting the territorial integrity of the state under British imperialist design, has gone down in the annals of history as a hero of supreme sacrifice and extraordinary valor. Relations between the Manipur kingdom and the British were peaceful until the death of Maharaja Chandrakiri in 1890, when a power struggle for the throne ignited a civil war. A series of coups and appeals for help eventually led to the British getting directly involved in Manipur again. A group of British officers with 400 Gurkhas arrived in Imphal to arrest the Prince Tikendrajit and oust Maharaja Kulchandra Singh. When the Maharaja refused to abdicate or hand over the prince, the British tried to conduct a sudden midnight raid and capture Tikendrajit in 1891. But their plan was quickly foiled by Manipuri soldiers. Angered King Kulchandra ordered the beheading of the 5 British officers on March 24, 1891. It was this incident that triggered what was later called the Anglo-Manipuri War of 1891. To save their motherland, Manipuris fought very bravely under the direction of Tikendrajit. But it was all in vain against the superior arms the British possessed. On the 27th of April 1891, the British occupied Manipur. Tikendrajit was arrested and after a false trial was court-martialed and publicly hanged on 13th August 1891. I've told you stories of 3 freedom fighters in this episode. In the next episode, I'll tell you about more freedom fighters who gave their lives, who fought hard and were brave soldiers, warriors of India. And they did it all for the love of India. Thank you.